Patience. Why do we need to wait? You've probably been in a situation where you've had to wait for something before. Sometimes it feels unbearable to wait, and you might start to get all irritated at everything because of the fact that you have to wait. But waiting for the right moment can be a good thing because you don't want to make a decision irrationally. But since I follow Christ, I wait on God's timing for almost everything in my life. I try not to make impulse decisions in all that I do because I've made a lot of them before, but nothing good came from them. But even if you don't believe in God, I do believe that there's still a few good reasons why you should wait. Testing your own patience is good because you start to build it. And what I mean is, the longer you wait, the more that you yearn for things. And also, whenever you want something, you should take into consideration two things. One of those being, is it an impulse want? And the second one being, after a while, do you still want it? I say this because sometimes we temporarily yearn for something, but then when we act on it or get it, we get bored of it and no longer want it. Obviously, waiting takes time, but distracting yourself can help you too because you can't force your birthday to come faster, you can only wait. Waiting is probably the best option in most situations where you have the option, but I'm not saying that you shouldn't take risks. And by risk, I also mean leap of faith. In certain situations, we have to try new things that we aren't comfortable with. And there is nothing wrong with that as it is a part of life. Therefore, it's good to take a risk and it's good to do things that you aren't familiar with, I guess. But I'll talk about that later. Anyway, it's recommended to wait on the Lord, and since God makes things very clear, you'll know when you're supposed to do what it is you want to do. But you can always take a chance and do it when you want. There will only be consequences that follow. Anyway though, as we know, every action we take in our life has a consequence. Whether it's positive or negative, everything that we do can have an effect on our lives. I might choose to read my Bible before school and now I have a different mindset than what I normally have. But then another day, I might choose to read it after and never end up getting it done. But little actions like that contribute to our lives. That's why it can be good to be cautious when you do things. I said before that we should take risks and leaps of faith. Which is true because realistically, we have to take risks for the things we want, the futures we desire, and the lifestyle that we crave. But in that risk, it's important to know that everything that you do will have a consequence. Not waiting in certain situations can make things bad or maybe better than what we expected. However, in most situations where you can wait, you probably should. You don't want to be too quick with decisions. But if you do make a mistake, you'll learn from it. It won't be the end of the world, but you'll probably regret what you did or didn't do until the end of it. But anyway, regret is just a consequence of any action. No matter what you do, talk to that girl, unmute your mic, DM that person. If things don't go your way, you'll likely regret it. But even if things do go your way and just have a different outcome, you may still regret it. A lot of us will forever live with that regret. Or something we did, someone we betrayed, someone we couldn't speak to, something we said. It's purely inevitable and you should just live your life without the worry of it. But anyway, regret and consequence add beauty to life because without it, we wouldn't want to be careful with what we did. But regardless, I hope that I was able to explain both sides of this topic, why we should wait and what comes with it, and when we don't wait and what comes with it. This isn't the end though, I still have some more things to say. Regret is normal, as even God regret. Mankind was doomed from the beginning, so it's no wonder why. But the fact that God felt regret characterizes him and shows that he's a personal being who loves. But that's something for another time. Let's move on. Patience is good and should be applied to most situations. Actions have consequences, good or bad, and they affect our lives, and you should be careful with what you do. Regret is normal and is to be felt. So since regret is normal and consequences are inevitable, take risks, explore your life, and include God in the things that you do. Have patience, be diligent, and try to be smart about decisions in your life. I don't mean avoid everything that seems harmful in your life, but I mean don't do dumb things, harmful or not. I knew a guy who ruined his friend's relationship for his own benefit. If it were me, I'd regret it until the day that I died. He will likely never get to apologize, and even if he does, the damage is already done and they will likely never forgive him. Another situation where this guy met a lovely woman and they fell in love. But this guy knew another woman who we'll call his friend. His friend didn't like men and she was also Jewish. The guy was also a Christian and they shared things about their religions because they were good friends and didn't let it divide them. But one day the guy felt guilty for some odd reason that he had a female friend and partner. Since he was so quick with that decision, he decided to just leave her overnight and didn't tell her anything. But not long after that, the guy and what was supposedly the love of his life broke up. Now he had abandoned someone who cared about him not once but twice, and she may never get to see him again and get the proper goodbye that she deserves. If he wasn't so quick to abandon her, they could have still been friends. But no, and now he'll live with regret and so much more for the rest of his life. Yet the very regret that pains him is so beautiful because it inspires him to make messages telling others about what he experienced. Those messages may help someone. It may not be a large group, but it would be someone. And so yeah, I hope that this could help you somehow in some way. I wish you nothing but the best. Goodbye.